Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Saturday. It is September the 20th. So we'll go from top to bottom. That is normally how these things work. Starting off at the top, the Edmonton Oilers have unveiled a new third jersey. It's white. It's got a script across the front, a word mark, just the word Oilers. I like it. I think it's nice. It is a nice third jersey. It's something different. It's something I've talked about a lot this summer, what I've been doing the jersey countdown. That when teams do something a little bit different, I think that's nice. I think when they don't just reveal a look they've had before, I think that's nice as well. So, yeah, I think the Oilers did all right. A ridiculous number of alternates and changes to jerseys this year, it seems. I know that Ben, who I get a lot of my jerseys through, when he sent me a list a couple weeks back saying, here's what I have of what the new jerseys are going to be, I thought he was crazy. I was thinking that's a ton. That just seems too much. But nope, we're finding out there are a lot of new thirds this year and a lot of new looks just in general for teams around the NHL, which I think is fun because they want more money. So, the NHL's smart that way. They're smart that way. The Minnesota Wild. So one thing to keep an eye on with the Minnesota Wild in the preseason is going to be the goaltending. Cal Peterson, who was signed in the offseason, is going to be playing the game tomorrow. The whole game against Winnipeg is the plan. There's the chance if he gets lit up that they make a switch in net, but the plan is to play Cal Peterson, and then Wallstead would get the start Tuesday against the Dallas Stars. Obviously, this is a big year for Wallstead. He gets a chance to show he can be the backup for the full season for the Minnesota Wild, and he gets to do so when he's coming off of what was admittedly a rough down season for him this past year. So, yeah, we'll see what Wallstead's able to do for the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday, but we'll get to see Peterson tomorrow. Matthew Tkachuk makes his debut on College Game Day, which the NHL has been posting on social media about, so this is kind of a big deal. And I do think that if the NHL can continue to do things to become more and more mainstream south of the border, that's good for them. And Matthew Tkachuk's definitely personable, so absolutely should work out pretty well for them. Let me know your thoughts. If you saw him on College Game Day, what did you think? If you didn't see him on College Game Day, well, it's all over social media. You can go check that out. Trevor Zegras, new Philadelphia Flyer, understanding that his face-off numbers haven't necessarily been stellar, and that he has a teammate who can help him out with that. Sean Couturier, Zegras has been tapping him for advice on what to do on faceoffs. I think that's a great idea. I think young players should, and I'm guessing they often do, go to a veteran who has, very good faceoff numbers and figure what they're not necessarily doing right. So, yeah, hopefully Zegras gets his numbers up when it comes to faceoffs. It is kind of standard that younger players they're lacking in the face-off circle as players get older. They do find little tricks to win face-offs. So maybe we'll see Zegras' numbers get better this season. Beauvillier in Washington, when he became a free agent this summer, his priority was to re-sign with Washington. That is, in fact, what happened. Sounds like he's excited to be back. And for the Washington Capitals and for their fans, clearly this is a team that feels they should have done more. They should have gone further in the playoffs. And so that is their priority as a team this year, is to show, hey, we're for real, and try to take a run at the Stanley Cup, which would be their first since 2018 if they could get there and win one. Beauvillier looking to be a positive and hoping for a top 6 spot coming out of training camp. Artemi Panarin, we entered the part of the year where we don't hear a lot about injuries. It's often very, very quiet in terms of what exactly those injuries are. Artemi Panarin apparently dealing with a lower body injury. He's day-to-day. And so we'll see how long Panarin's out. Obviously, the concern for teams at this time of year is just make sure they're ready for opening night. Panarin probably wasn't going to play much during the preseason anyways. It really is about just get him to opening night and make sure he's good to go there. Chinakhov, a bit of a change in tone from Chinakhov, although we have not heard that he has rescinded his trade request. He has said he's okay with staying in Columbus if need be. Sounding positive about his relationship with the team at this point. We'll see over the next few weeks whether or not there's still any credence to the idea that he might prefer to go somewhere else. But at this point, he's saying the right things and reportedly is committed to camp in excellent shape. So we'll see if there's an official, or if there has been some kind of an official turnaround in his trade request. But at this point in time, it's an unknown. I did look through various articles. It still seems like it's unknown on whether or not that trade request by Chinakhov is still valid. Andrei Vasilevsky, another one of these players who we can talk about having an injury, not being in practice, but the expectation is that he should be ready to go for the start of the season. So he's not at practice. According to Coach Cooper, they're hopeful he'll be back within a week. So they want to get him back within a week, get him a little bit of action, and then get ready for the regular season because the preseason's not necessarily a huge deal. You look at some of this. This is why the National Hockey League's fine with taking a week away from the preseason, because clearly teams look at the preseason as it's a chance to see your players that are going to be playing in the AHL and your prospects. It is not really about seeing where veterans are at necessarily, unless they're returning from a major injury, and then you might throw them into some games to see where they're at. But yeah, Vasilevsky, it doesn't sound like it's anything major. It's just they'd rather not take the risk at this point in time. Which brings us to Jacob Slavin. Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, Carolina could not afford to be without Slavin for any extended period in time. He is yet to hit the ice for training camp, but according to Coach Brindamore, the idea is he's not going to be out there until he's 100%. He's probably not very far from being 100%. It is just that abundance of caution that the team is showing when it comes to Jacob Slavin at this point in time. Alexander Kerfoot, another injury piece of news for all you fine people on the internet. He's dealing with a lower body injury as well. He is seen as week to week. His status for opening night is unknown. This one sounds more likely that he'll probably miss a little bit of time to start the season. The good news being Utah's added to their depth in the offseason. I think they'll be fine without Kerfoot for a little while. Utah's going to be a team to keep an eye on. And I'll definitely watch them where I can during the preseason because I think there's some real reason for excitement around the Utah Mammoth. Maybe they'll get better just having an actual name. Maybe that'll be part of it. In New York, and New York meaning the Islanders, there is still no timetable for the return of Varlamov. They did bring in Riddick, so they do have an NHL experienced backup to be there for them while they're waiting for Varlamov to return. It's a lower body injury for Varlamov. He is skating, so that's encouraging, but it does not sound like we're going to see Varlamov playing for the Islanders soon. So that's why you bring in Riddick, a backup goaltender that you know can hold the fort for a while. But the earlier Varlamov comes back, I would think the better for the Islanders. Even though Varlamov's stats weren't great last year, it does feel like the injury was probably having an effect before they put him on the shelf, and he hasn't been back since. I think it was November of last year when we last saw Varlamov play a game, so we're almost up to a full year at this point in time. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. And you can always tell when we get into the preseason and we get into when games are being played because lots of injuries on the board. So look forward to that over the next couple of weeks as we get ready for the regular season. And a lot of these players, there will be debates about who's ready, who's not, and who should be ready and who shouldn't be. And so thank you guys for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.